is Samuel. Sikaoji is my nickname, given to me by the street and by my friends. Samuel is a young man from Nigeria, from Odotin local government, Okuku to be precise. You know, aside from being in aviation school, you know, looking forward to become a pilot. You know, I was with them Enimoni, Olamide, you know, for a while. You know, sometimes we go out for shows and we go to the clubs for shows, and I'm always there to pose as their security guy. I remember one day it was a Yomi Weather's video. Yeah. So the video location was around Ibejuleki area. So it was me and Enimoni. So we went to meet the crew, including Olamide and every other person. So when we got to the location, we realized that there were a lot of, you know, street guys. You know, when we were about to leave, our car got stuck in the sand, and it was so much pressure on us that day that even the security people that we took along, they didn't know what they should do right. You know, that was how I ended up in, you know, security industry. You know, becoming a close protection officer and a security consultant. The first step I took was going on YouTube, you know, making research on how to become a professional protection agent. I reached out to a school, to an academy in Europe called EBSSA. The experience started, you know, from the airport, meeting different people, Portuguese special forces, people from Portugal. We have people from China. We have people from Serbia. We have people from Russia. You know, from different parts of the world. You know, so it was a long trip from Belgrade, Serbia to Niš, where we had our training. When we were on the road, it was about 3 to 4 hours trip from Serbia to Niš. You know, we were on the road. It was cold. It was really, really cold. I can tell you that. The first morning, it was introduction. Then, you know, we were introduced to the range. I think that was the first time, you know, I held a Glock. You know, so we were, you know, taught how to, you know, walk together. You know, then during our, you know, range training, we were taught a lot of tactics. You know, that's where we get the Israeli tactics from protection tactics. You know, search and rescue. You know, fire and proficiency, extraction tactics, first aid and stuff like that. I thought I had been prepared enough for, you know, physically. I thought I was physically prepared, you know, for this task, because before I went for my training, like a month straight, I was going to the gym and I was cutting carbs and stuff, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, I gasped. Our training is a module training, which means it's a simultaneous training. So my training took 7 days, and it was constant because we only had about 6 or 7 hours of rest in between, and that was probably late in the night, you know, till early in the morning. It was a 70 hours module course, you know. So it was 7 days of intense training, classroom, lectures, first aid training as well, and also live mission. Because after your training, you're going to have a live mission where you're going to meet your VIP. You know, the whole planning, the whole thing, the whole exercises you did during the training is going to be exhibited.
currently on your expressway. We're going to a live mission. We're currently on a live mission.
Bàbá mú tàwọn rọ́pò àlè bàbá. Bàbá.
Àwọn international security kì í sàwọn ordinary security. So tẹ́ ẹ bá lè sanwó wọn, wọ́n wá pẹ̀lú ẹ tí mímì ọ̀dẹ gbọ́dọ̀ mi. Tí nǹkan kan bá ṣe wọ́n bí tán bá wà, ẹnìyẹn tẹ́. Kọ́ńtì tí nǹkan bá ti ṣe wọ́n, kọ́ńtì yẹn dára ni. Olùwé sí ordinary security. So ẹ jẹ́ ká fọkàn wá balẹ̀.
The difference between a bouncer and a CPO is a bouncer is, a civilian who is heavily built and probably for the purpose of protecting events, pubs, clubs, social gathering, etc. On the other hand, a CPO is a tactically trained person. There's a difference between somebody who lifts weights and somebody who has gone through rigorous military training. As a bouncer, there are certain things that you can do that a CPO guy can do. For example, surveillance and intelligence and reconnaissance. These are important things that as a CPO guy you learn when you are in training, but as a bouncer, most bouncers only focus on the physical appearance. Let's say in Nigeria, my first job was with Roddy Rich and Lil Doc. It was fun, I didn't really have any challenge, It was because it was properly planned for, because I got my signal for the job days before, and I was told I was going to be QRF. So, and despite that, I still did my perimeter checks, my route checks, and every other thing I was meant to do. I think the one that gave me a little bit of problem was the Ashake's job, the Ashake Live in Concert. And when we were in training, we were told that when the work becomes so intense, that's when your training kicks in, and even though it was hard, even though I never prepared for this type of challenges, it still made sense that I was able to, scale through. Yeah, I try as much as possible to, showcase whatever interest I have aside or outside, be tactical. I love riding bikes a lot because when I was young, I remember I used to request for a bicycle up until I was in secondary school, and I had to like save money to buy the bike myself. So if you go to my house, if you come to my house, you'll see a lot of bikes. I love riding, I love cycling, I love chasing the sunset. Part of like things I really enjoy doing. And aside from that, I love renting a boat, just go sail, fish. Outside that, aside from flying, training, I enjoy the act of flying. Like, just flying the plane, downwind, doing my circuits, doing a lot of maneuvers and stuff. I mean, it's outside training. It's just my own interest, the excitement and the adrenaline I get from these things. How do you know a soldier if not by their scars? When I was in Serbia, there was a particular day we had an extraction exercise to do, So it was an uphill mission where we had to extract the VIP from the point of contact to the uphill where we're gonna take him out of the area by a chopper. So, I had a boot that I wore during the training, and it wasn't really comfortable for me. But during the training, most of the team members are gonna double as team leaders, and everybody has to take that role. So it's like we keep changing roles, and we keep repeating exercises, and at the end of that exercise, when we got back to the camp, and I took out my boots, I realized that my nails, like my toenails, were all like out with my socks. Aside from the fact that you have to go to the initial training, we have different types of close protection licenses. We have the CPO level 1, level 2, level 3, level.
What is CPO?
CPO means close protection operator, and you can also say close protection officer. Yeah. So CPO level 1 to level 3 has some basic training in them. Then CPO level 5 is like the highest level of CPO. Yeah. And we also have PSD. So PSD is personal security detail, and PSDs are in quotes mercenaries. When you graduate from the normal celebrity protection, normal VIP protection, we have VVIP protection, we have diplomatic protection. So before you would be allowed, or before you're given a job to become a diplomatic close protection officer, you have to go through PSD course or PMC course. It depends on the part of the world you're trying to work. So right now I have my PSD level 4, which I got in Lebanon. That was I think that was July 2023. So that was after my training in Serbia. So that was the next level of training.
So which means you've gone through CPO 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. So I now have CPO level 5 and PSD level 4. When I was in Lebanon, I got my personal flag, personal Nigerian flag with me, something as a symbol of patriotic, being patriotic, a symbol of being a Black Panther, a Black Nigerian. So basically this flag has a lot of signatures. I have signatures from South Korea Special Forces. My guy actually took his time to give us a AK-47 rifle. So I have people from Lebanon, Greece, somebody said don't forget me. I'm Korean Special Force or UNSU, and that's my friend, South Korea sniper, and this is Rafi. This is Capron. Yeah, I have. Yeah, this is my friend Joe, and you can see what he wrote. Greetings from Brazil to the Prince of Nigeria. Yeah. So this is I carry these everywhere I go. I mean, I don't, regardless of what I'm doing, or because this is part of history. This is how we create our own history by adding to the society where we came from.